Welcome into another Sunday night Blender Unfiltered. Here we are, back again. Another week down, another movie down. There's been few and far between this summer, but thank God there's been a couple that I actually enjoyed. Surprise, surprise. As much bagging on Hollywood and Disney that I do, that Matthew does. And we have differing opinions, obviously. But I've actually liked the last couple films I've seen. And I'm shocked. Trust me. I'm just as shocked as you are, actually. But before we get into it, as I adjust my headphones, turn my headphones up, some bitch. No, it's got one of those little crackles. Got to get the crackles out, folks. Speaking of crackles, man, my cankles have been killing me lately. I don't know what's going on here. Getting old's a bitch. But before we talk about getting old, we got to introduce my buddy, Otis, and the band. Give it up. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Come on, Otis. Come on in here. Oh, yeah. Neo Soul Funk, buddy. We got to get Otis a new song. It's the only song he knows, man. He learned 4 chords. Maybe only 2. And the background singers. The Funkettes. Oh, the Funkettes getting down. All right, what's up, y'all? We'll get into it in just a minute. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you found another fantastic weekend. Hopefully it was better than mine, which consisted of working, which I hope for those 9-to-5ers out there, you guys are off Saturday today. Speaking of getting old, holy crap, man. The joints just ain't as oiled up as they used to be, man. I feel like 3PO. I need a nice dip in a hot oil bath or something like that. Luke Skywalker, come rescue me. Anyway, yes, we are going to get into Fantastic Four, for sure. We'll bring up some numbers over the weekend and see how it did domestically and abroad. Comparisons against Superman. My thoughts on that. I do have a review coming out tomorrow. I did have some issues actually getting it saved and getting it like on the computer. And now I just have to film or put a couple pictures in. And I'll get it out tomorrow morning for a clear and concise, quick review. Kind of like the Superman one. So anyway, hopefully you guys will take a look at that. Got a couple trailers to check out. We'll see if I get demonetized again. Or not demonetized. Let's say copyright claimed. For those of you that are monetized, I'm sure it's a pain in the ass. But anyway, so we'll take a look at a couple trailers. I did want to cover Colbert and the cancellation. Oh no, everybody's freaking out about losing a worthless late night talk show and a worthless late night talk show host. And we'll see David Letterman's comments about it, which I'm a little shocked about, to be honest with you. And then we'll also take a look into the Obama controversy right now with the Russiagate and the 2016 Russia is trying to control the election and steer it in Donald Trump's favor and all that stuff. So we'll take a look at that and kind of run over the facts and stuff. But anyway, so got a little bit on the plate. Nonetheless, like I said, I hope you guys are doing good. I did have one story out of Nashville, Tennessee that I think is pretty weird, actually. That doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, so I do want to play for you guys something funny that I came across on the internet. God, you gotta love the internet. And I'll play it here in a little bit. It's a pretty funny little, I don't even know what to call it. I guess it's a commercial. But before we do that, let's say hello to our chat. Shane, Same Time Toy, says, can't wait for this one. That was at 6:32. So hopefully Shane is off or getting some rest or has gotten some rest. Let's see here. Mendoza is in the house. What's up, Mendoza? Stanley is watching Big Brother 27 live feeder stream. Stanley must be a Big Brother fan. I have not watched that show in a long time. The only thing I remember about Big Brother recently is in Big Brother UK. What's his name? The actor from back in the day. He made some kind of slur against JoJo Siwa, and that turned into a big deal. Mickey Rourke. It's the goofiest thing I've seen turn into a story. Dreadnought K6 is in the house. Turk Murphy's Solutions is in the house. G.I. Joe, bro, what's up? Let's see here. Surgery stuff definitely sucks. And Dreadnought, hopefully you're getting better by the day. Johnny Reno, what's up? Cheers to you, my friend. 3-star draw is here with the pound, baby. Viper Scout is also here hanging out. Let's see. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody at the moment. Joe Fan 84, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. I know that was your one for Reno, but hey, it's all good. Nolan is here in the house as well. James Pitts, what is up? Long time no see, buddy. Yeah, what's up, neighbor? Been a while, my friend. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Looking good. Okay. I got to play it. I got to play it for you guys. I found this. I love this. I can't get enough of this. And here we go.
In my factory. Many in my factory.
Okay. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. I've become a weeb. Is this my new waifu right here? Doing a commercial for an engine factory. One more time. Take it away, Little Miss Muffet.
In my factory. Many in my factory.
What has happened to me? What am I finding? What the heck was that? Me too. This is some chick who has a bunch of commercials. They're all on Instagram, and she can't sing. I'll play a little bit more of it. I'll let it play for just a second. And this is for an engine shop, an engine factory. And if you look, they have a bunch of engines on the floor.
In my factory. Many engines in my factory. If you need many engines, you can tell me. I want to take a lot of engine.
I can't get enough. I had that song in my head all day today. And I couldn't even figure out what the words of it were, because I heard it on another stream. And then I had to look it up. I looked up a million different phrases, and I finally found it on Instagram. And it's Engine Factory. Unfortunately, our lovely host can't say the word factory. She says factory. Factory. And engine, I thought was, hang on. One more time. What did I think?
Engine.
Okay, engine in my Faco tree. I thought it was some kind of tree. I searched Faco trees, Japan, Faco trees, China. I searched Faco trees everywhere. Yeah, no, exactly. That's the problem. It's awful. And yes, rent-free in my head. That's what happens with Instagram. It's awful. Oh, my God. Anyway, hopefully I put that bug in your ear. It would make a good ringtone, actually. And I'm probably going to get copyrighted for it. You watch. There's gonna be some fucker in Japan who copyrights me for this damn children's song. Basically, is what it is. It's like a damn getting copyrighted for a nursery rhyme in public domain. Truly amazing. But yeah, that girl, that video has 3.2 million views. Stanley says, so she has a following. Does she advertise, or did the engine reach out to her? I don't know. Curious. And Ninjin, yes, Ninjin, right? Dude, I thought about a million different words of what she was saying for engine. Let your mind go wild with it, actually. Let your mind be creative with it, actually. That's what I say. Let your mind go into the wildest places with Faco Tree. Anyway, that's the new love of my life, ladies and gentlemen. She is my new waifu, and I can't help myself. It's pitiful, isn't it? It's so pitiful. Okay. All right, let's get into some shit. Let's get into the real shit. Let's talk about G.I. Joe San Diego Comic-Con reveal. The reveal panel. And let's talk about what was said by our dear friend Emily. And let's discuss, shall we? I know not all of you are probably into that. Let's discuss and let's see what you guys think about this. Otis, you're going to have to turn it down a little bit, brother. We're going to turn you down. Let's bring it down just a little bit, Otis. Just bring it down just a little. There we go. I'll bring you back up, brother. I promise. Okay, did you guys hear about this? Do you know about this? The G.I. Joe reveal panel at San Diego Comic-Con, where they were showing off the reveal pictures of the newest figures that are going to go up for pre-order, I think on the 29th, and then the name-only reveals and stuff like that. Okay. If you haven't seen this, I was made privy to this today. Now, I'm surprised I didn't see this panel. But I do want you guys to listen to what Emily says here when she talks about the Target pre-orders. Okay? So that's kind of a big part of this panel. So hopefully you guys can hear this.
These are just kind of a little preview of what's to come on these friends, but pretty cool.
Very inspired photography.
Yes, yeah. It feels like our photography just like keeps like kicking it up a notch.
I think they're in competition with each other.
Yes.
Online,
yeah.
on the one up. It's pretty awesome.
I mean, could be worse. All right, so next up, let's see. BMAC very, very sweetly made this deck for me and put notes in. So I don't work on the development side of G.I. Joe anymore, so I have, you have probably some of the same questions that I do, but been put notes in. Great news, Steelers Short Fuse are going to be the final Target exclusive of 2025, so more to come on pre-order dates and full reveals when Target is.
Okay. These are the final Target exclusives for 2025, okay? You just heard that. That was revealed from the director of marketing, okay? Evidently. Now, I did not know she was like the overall marketing person. I didn't know that the decisions that are made to do exclusives with Walmart or Target go through her decisions, okay? That's what I was told today. So, she just said that these are the final Target exclusives, and if you hear in the clip, okay, you'll hear somebody go, boo, very lackluster.
That I do, but been put notes in. Great news, Steelers Short Fuse are going to be the final Target exclusive of 2025, so more to come on pre-order dates and full reveals when Target is ready. Amazing. Thank you. I'm sorry, what was that? I'm sorry, did somebody just boo me in the room while I'm making eye contact with you?
Play, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your sentiments all around. Please feel free to keep those opinions to yourself while I am living.
Feel free to keep those opinions to yourself at a public panel.
Barely looking you in the face.
While I'm looking at you in the face. Now, how would you know she's going to look directly at you in the face? Now, if you start booing and she looks at you, then yes, she's looking at you in the face. However, everybody laughs it off.
Way to attack your fans.
Oh, what did that guy just say? What did that guy just say? Let's hear it again.
Please feel free to keep those opinions to yourself while I am literally looking you in the face. Thank you.
Way to attack your fans.
Way to attack your fans. Because guess what? The Target exclusive bullshit has been a disaster. Now, whether or not you're able to get this or that or whatever, Target's been a disaster, okay, with the exclusive shit. The exclusive shit has been a disaster. So, okay, so this is the thing, right? So somebody says, well, she probably thought that he was booing her and not a Target exclusive. Well, why would you make that assumption? Because you heard a few boos. And she didn't say, guys, I made this decision. Guys, it was on me. It's just, hey, this is the final Target exclusive of the year. And I'd say most of us probably have the opinion that that's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's been bullshit. Okay? So she chastises someone in the audience directly, who then everyone looks at. Okay? I'm sure. I'm not there, but let's just play detective. Okay. We'll get to our next part here. It's about 12 minutes. Was it about 12:18? Okay. So here's our next little bit right here, where instead of leaving it alone, she circles back to it.
Being made right now.
So get over it.
All right. So next up, in case you missed it, we're gonna do so a little bit of recaps here, I guess, because these render reveals were these the ones that went out on socials the other week, I think. Yes.
Okay,
Great.
so
So
doesn't
it'll
even
be
know.
like a little kind of halvesies recap and then some more information about things. That seems fine. Just in case you missed, cannot tell you how excited I am about this situation. So Pythona is going to be our fall convention exclusive for G.I. Joe this year. I have been waiting for this for years.
Since you joined.
Since I joined, I've not been particularly shy about this as a request. So she is going to be, she's a deluxe figure. Oh no, Ben wrote like a little paragraph here. All right, So, news from press breakfast. If you haven't been by the booth since then, we revealed that the world of Colbert Law is growing with none other than my personal favorite, Pythona. She wrote it in my voice. He's so sweet. This beautiful deluxe figure comes with all the accessories she's ever needed. We can't wait to get her glamour shots complete and reveal those to later this fall. She drops at our fall conventions and then on HasbroPulse.com to follow. Keep an eye on G.I. Joe socials. All right, so what is all of your favorite parts about Pythona and the world of Cobra Law?
I think she's my favorite female figure aside from the new Baroness, rather, but I think my favorite, so I'm excited we got it to work.
It's a bioorganic
Come on.
CPAP machine.
That's very practical.
Yeah. And then also being a
Ceviche. I found it ceviche.
I love that.
It's like,
Get that oversized tick. Yeah, the oversized.
That tick is killed.
Amazing. Okay, so again, Pythona is going to be our fall convention exclusive. So we did our fall conventions. Sorry, I'm sitting on my feet so that I can be a little bit taller. I keep falling off. So the way our fall convention items are going to work this year is we're going to sell them at our in-person conventions first. We basically have 3 conventions in a row in the fall: New York Comic Con, London Comic Con, and Lucca Comic Con. And then we will put them up online after all 3 of the conventions are over. And then that applies across all of our fall convention exclusive items across all of the action portfolio.
Awesome.
Delightful. All right. Next up, let's talk about the render reveals that dropped ahead of San Diego Comic Con. So first up, sci-fi.
There you go. I want to find
More of Ghost Viper and Dire Type Beast are the final Walmart exclusive of 2025. It will be available later this fall. More details to come on pre-order date and info. Does anybody have any disparaging comments they'd like to say?
Okay, there it is. So after she calls out an audience member, right, and chastises this person for booing, which is what a lot of people do, if they don't like something, right? It could have been playful. Like, she really doesn't even know. Then she circles back around about 4 minutes later and says, before anybody has any disparaging remarks, the whole thing about I'm making eye contact with you. I mean, you could be looking at anybody. So I think it's in bad taste. Now, a lot of people not like her, fine. Whatever. Don't give a shit. Really don't care. Do I think they botched some of this stuff? Yes. Yes, I do. Again, what the guy says who's taking this video, way to attack your fans, right? So it's just not a good look, right? You move on from it, and then you don't circle back around it to call it out again, because then guess what happens? If you're the dude that she's talking about, guess what happens when she says, before anybody has any disparaging comments, and we don't even know where she's looking, because she might be looking back at that person, what does everybody in the room do? They all turn and look at that person. When multiple people were booing, when multiple people were like, yo, the fucking Target shit sucks, because it fucking does. So I'm not saying it's a big deal. I'm not blowing it up. I'm just saying it's never a good look for somebody who's working in a company to do that, and during a live presentation, because you have to distance yourself from the audience, whether people clap or boo or whatever. You have to be a professional. And it always takes me back to a few years ago when the stream, when she made Lenny and these other guys say their fucking pronouns before their names, and what they were going to talk about on a G.I. Joe stream. That shit was embarrassing. Now, whether she was directed or not, I don't know. But my point being is you have to distance yourself. You have to get away from that. And you have to be a professional. Stanley, that's the one thing you notice in this video is the ASL interpreter, right? Because it's not on the panel, it's on the screen, right? And then Dreadnought K6 says, wait till the Walmart exclusive Ghost Vipers get released. It's going to be a clusterfuck. I agree, 100%. Now, see, this is the thing. 3-star, that's what I thought. I said, hey, I doubt the decision is in her hands. She's just a delivery system. And I said, I always see her on the G.I. Joe streams until I realized that, no, she's not just on the G.I. Joe stream. She's on all the streams. So, from what I can tell, the exclusive decisions are hers and hers to make. I assume as a company, they just make this, they have these contracts, they're signed. But either way, no, they're not booing her as an individual. They're booing the Target shit, because we all think the Target shit is shit, right? Yeah, it's a pretty simple fix, right? It's a pretty simple fix, in my opinion. Joe Fan says, if it's going to be a Target exclusive, how about actually getting them in the dang store? Yeah, well, exactly, right? Now, did some of those appear on the shelf? Yes, that is how I acquired mine, but not through myself. It was through somebody else. They just happened to be there, sitting on the shelf. And they are eventually gettable, but the thing is that a lot of people, hey, you want to guarantee it's that first day, want to go get it. How many times do you have to check Target to run into it, right? That kind of thing. Ronnie Trickshot says, did she say anything about them still being USA exclusive? Because I'd boo or bring Hasbro to Australia. See, that's something else. Like, I don't know. And I'd be curious if there were any Australians or people from overseas or wherever, when they did the Q&A at the end, that maybe asked one of those questions or would have asked one of those questions. You know, Turk says, I'm still disgruntled over my Rattler shipping debacle, and you're not alone. 3-star draw, you know, and getting it paid for was a debacle. You know, he's got the story on that. G.I. Jetman, what's going on? Good to see you, buddy. Going to be doing a stream with Shark Eyes and Ronnie Trickshot, I think, here in the next few days, if I'm not mistaken. Stanley says, BMAC wrote Emily's notes to go off of. Emily is marketing covering all brands. Yes, and that's what I was told today. The Target that is an hour and a half for me is the closest, never has anything ever. I quit going and just order online now. That's what most people do now. Mr. Magus, what is going on? Can't wait to talk about Fantastic Four and contrast and compare with Superman. But I did want to bring this up because I know a lot of you guys collect toys. I know a lot of y'all in the audience right now, you know, you do. And I feel like this is a story that is interesting to me, you know, and Stanley says that's 3PO, Laser Pants Chad's filming. And yes, it actually is, and give credit to them for this stream, because I did not, I tried to find it. I don't follow those guys a lot, just a little bit here and there. And yeah, I just think that it could have been handled better. And I think, again, it's just another notch on the side of like, does this person really care? Is she that excited? Is it fake? Is it, and on top of that, yeah, she's probably gotten a lot of hate, a lot of bullshit, probably takes it personally. But again, you have to be a professional in this situation. You just have to be. It's part of the job. Yes, sci-fi looks fantastic, and the reveals were cool. I agree 100%. My pronouns are mate and bro, says Ronnie Trickshot, and I agree. Those are perfect pronouns for you, my friend. And yeah, she's got a lot of power, a lot of responsibility, a lot of blame. That's how it works. But someone booing in the audience, you just can't. They're not running up on the stage, and it was pretty lackluster. The way it sounded to me was like, boo. It's not, I don't think that warranted a response. Mr. Magus says a lot of great looking figures. Just leaves me to wonder just how many we'll be able to buy. Well, if you wanted to get Cold Slither, chances are you lost out to the people that got 5 each. Just a guess. And then Nolan says, didn't really see anything wrong with it. I feel like she kind of handled it well. As for the guy saying way to attack the fans, sounds like a whiny bitch, but that's just me. Well, here's the problem though, Nolan, is that through entertainment and pop culture and the movie studios, television studios, and all around, the fans are the ones that get the blame for when things don't go right. Even though the fans aren't the one who created the show or created the movie, right? The fans are just the fans. They like what they like. And even in this instance, I just feel like, what do you gain out of literally chastising somebody in front of an entire audience and saying, while I have maintaining eye contact with you, you're going to boo me? And she's looking right at the person, which means everybody now is looking at this dude. I'm not going to lie. I appreciated the comment, way to, attack your fans, because I think fans have been under attack so often from the very things that we love to support, right? Especially in the last, 7-8 years. Especially on the movie side, that's for sure. Turk says, my claws are getting ready to be shipped since the 24th, but they say FedEx hasn't seen them yet. That does surprise me. I'm going to say I did get mine, and it got here very fast through FedEx, but it was a bigger package. If it was DHL, you'd be shit out of luck. Dreadnought K6 says nobody asked any real questions at the end either. I agree. It was real fluff. And I think people do get tired with misrepresentations or incompetence. I just, like I said, I think it could have been handled better. And I wanted to cover it because I was made privy to it earlier. Didn't catch it over the weekend. And so I just thought I'd kind of get you guys' thoughts, good, bad, or indifferent. No Rattler yet. That sucks. It definitely will come, because I had people that said they didn't get any notifications, and then all of a sudden, it's like theirs showed up. Mr. Magus, I feel certain way on how Hasbro can take all strikers there and sell them when we ordered them months ago, and haven't heard a word until the con. Website still saying December release. Communication, I think, is the biggest thing. I think communication and correct, proper communication is the biggest thing. And that's a problem with their website. That is a big problem with, the app, obviously. And she even said, if you listen, she doesn't even know what the socials are saying. So, she's like, I don't know. What did the socials put out last week? Is that what they said? I don't. You should be on the same page with this stuff. Like, this is your thing, right? And so you should have all the notes printed and everything in front of you. That's just how it is to me. And I think that's part of being a professional. So, who I forgot about? I forgot about my boy Otis. Come on, Otis, get back up in here. I love you, buddy. Come back to daddy. All right. Come back to daddy, Otis. Let's go. Yeah. They love the money. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not going to shill for a multi-million-dollar company But I will point out critiques. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, I mean, you're a consumer. You're purchasing a product. They're offering a product. Their communication, there are smaller companies that are better about communicating to you and their customers than this big company is. And they're not changing on a dime. They're not pivoting. You know, these pre-orders, you know, you pre-ordered this shit months and months and months ago. So it's not like they're all of a sudden, oh, we gotta change. We gotta change this or that. It's, you know, this stuff is set long time in advance. Really? Mr. Madgus and Emily, something going on there we don't know about? Spill the tea, Mr. Madgus. What's happening there? What I want to know. Dreadnought, grown men buying toys, they don't respect it, or us, only the profits. You know, I would say the team has fun designing the product. Okay? The business side of it, no, there's no respect. We can pretend and fool ourselves all day long if we want to. But the reality is, no, there's no respect there. It is a one-way street. And they know that. And we say it all the time. They've got you by the nostalgia balls. When they put these renders out, when they show you these photos, and oh, the glow in the dark, and oh, look at this, you know, in the picture on right now, you know, on the screen. Oh man, what I could do with that. Oh, it's crazy. They got you. They know what they're doing. But as a business, no, they don't respect you. Right? Like, they just don't. I don't know many businesses that do. Right? And Johnny Reno, I'm with you, actually. I'm with you. And I know what you meant to say there. Hookers and blow. We'll solve all your problems. What is that from? What movie is that from? That's what I don't know. G.I. Jetman says, I think Emily's pretty. Been single all my life, so what do I know? Hey, you know what? Different strokes for different folks. Now the world don't... what's the Different Strokes theme song? I don't want to sing it. I'll get copyright claim. It's about to bust it out. It's the last thing I want to do. Listen, you've been single for 7 years now, buddy. Joe Fan, hey, you're not alone, brother. All right? There's a lot of us that have been single for 7 years or 6 years or 4 years or 2 years or 8 years or 10 years, whatever. It's all good. Trust me. It's a different dynamic in this day and age than it was even 10 years ago and 20 years ago. Totally different dynamic. Bunny Ranch is the way to go, Dreadnought. 100%. Mr. Magus says, I was mad seeing those good figures because I know half of them I won't be able to get to them. Yeah, and that's a problem. That's a problem. And it's hard to know which ones you won't know, right? Like, you don't know which ones will be hard to get. So, anyway, I thought that was interesting. You know, is more being made of it than what it is? Maybe so. Maybe so. But I did think it was in poor taste. That's just me. I think it was in poor taste to kind of go after some guy in the crowd who literally, it wasn't it was because in that setting no one wants to come across looking like an asshole, right? Like, that's just the truth of the matter, right? That you don't want to get kicked out of a Hasbro panel for G.I. Joe at San Diego Comic-Con. You don't need security coming up to you going, excuse me, sir, you're a little too overexcited about these toys. We're going to have to ask you to leave because you're voicing your opinion a little too loudly. You know, it's goofy. So it was like, Jesus, like that warrants being called out on the spot, right? I just don't know. 3-star says exclusives are one thing, but having stuff like the All Striker, Slice and Dice in stock at the show with no inkling of when they ship is a dick move. Yes. Now, is having stuff in, like, if you were able to go to the convention, there should be special things involved with that. It should be a perk. It's just fucking life. Okay? So if you pay the money and you got the money and you can go and you go, then there are things attached with that. They're not free. You still got to buy the shit. Right? But there should be perks attached with that. There should be something, right? Like that's an extra bonus for you for making the effort to save the money, or if you live in California, right down the road, right? Then who gives a fuck? But you get what I'm saying. I think that's nice. That's okay. I'm good with that. I do think that, however, selling the stuff when you've got shipping in December is kind of fuckery. I mean, that's just me. Slice and Dice are on eBay. I'm going to say eBay, not eBlow, but I like the name eBlow better, actually. And here is a comment that is as old as time and is the truest form of protest, and that is Ronnie Trickshot. Yes, the best way to protest is to stop buying them. We've seen it with movies. We've seen it with the Marvel movies. People are voting with their wallets. The movies aren't as good anymore. They're not going. The shows haven't been up to what people expect. They're not watching, right? They're not subscribing. That is a tale as old as time. And, you know, obviously, yes, you want to keep buying. I want to keep buying. But Ronnie's right. That is the way. Now, can you do without to prove a point? Because most people say, if I don't buy it, but everybody else does, then I'm the one that's a sucker because I'm missing out. Right? It's when everybody, when a majority, when a large portion, we're not going to see that. We're not going to see a large portion of people just decide they're out. It's just not going to happen. Cold Slither goes back up on sale on the 1st, supposedly according to the countdown. Okay, here's the funny thing about it. Many of you and myself pay $50 a year for Pulse Premium. Okay? I'm guessing it would have been easier for me to get Cold Slither the other day than it's going to be this next go around, when even more people have an opportunity to jump in and purchase 5 or whatever the limit is. That's just me. Maybe they make more available. Maybe they do. But there's also more people trying to get it. Because I would dare say most people that buy these figures are not Hasbro Premium Pulse members. Just guessing. So if you are able to get through the PayPal payment screen and you're able to select and add 2 to your cart when you only want 1, let me know. I swear it's so ridiculous. And look, Stanley, you know, if you had somebody there and you know, you're able to have somebody that can get those for you, I think that's great. I think that's a great way to be able to get those figures, right? Have somebody get them, ship them to you, whatever. You know, that's the way I look at it. Yeah, gonna attempt ordering again if I can't get it done. Fuck chasing this set down for double the price. I agree, and the thing of it is too. Now, will we see it go back up like Chuckles did months later or whatever? And then you could get Chuckles. Nobody cared then. Nobody gave a shit. You could get Chuckles. You could get 1 million Chuckles if you want. Mr. Magus, heard some nutball was there. Brought a few items and hiked up the prices, tried to sell them in one of the Joe rooms on Facebook. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard something about that. I think it was talked about on Friday night on 3 Stars live stream. But I think I heard a little bit about that. Right. And yeah, Dreadnought, that could be part of it, as far as just, weak men. I mean, look, I don't know that that's necessarily it. I just feel like it's called business. It's called Business 101. It's been going on for years, decades, make people feel like they're missing out. I mean, that's just the truth. Make people feel like they're missing out. And they will scramble over themselves to secure the said product. It could have been a vacuum cleaner. Could have been a microwave. You know what I mean? Like that's a business tactic that is as old as time. Short, say you're short, limited time offer. You ever heard that one? Right? That's as old as time. And Shane, I agree. Shit is only worth what people are willing to pay. And that's the thing, though. People are willing to pay usually. We see it with sports tickets, going to see a band, movie tickets, right? Whatever it is. But especially on a seller's market, you're right. When it comes to collectibles, people will, items are only worth what people are willing to pay. But there's always somebody willing to pay. And I'm guessing there's people out there that are willing to pay $175 for Cold Slither. $200, I don't know. I think we've been burned a few times. And because of that, I think that because we've been burned, I think less and less people are taking that bait. That's just the way I look at it. Could be. Well, yes, but if everybody's in on the take, Shane, right? If they sell out, it makes them look good to the brass, but the brass probably knows what's up, right? Like they know what's going on. Yes, toilet paper. I mean, all we have to do is look to COVID and see what hoops people were willing to jump through to get necessities. And also to see what greed looks like. Right? To see what greed looks like. Now that's the extreme. We're just talking about disposable income here. That was the extreme. This is something, right, that is not a household necessity. People still tripping over themselves. Right. Clint Jorgensen is here. Says, yeah, 80s infomercial said order in the next 30 minutes, you get something free. Yeah. I mean, you remember that, right? For a limited time only, you can get 2 ShamWows for $9.99. And we'll throw in this pocket lighter. I'd like to say there will be more. But some of these items never gone back. 3 Star says, y'all think Target Breaker's been a pain in the ass? Just wait till Walmart has Ghost Viper in October. Yeah, that was mentioned earlier. And yes, I agree. That's going to be an absolute shit show. G.I. Jetman doesn't want Cold Slither. So they would just sit, collect dust. Stupid idea to make. They could have given a SDCC Globulus another vehicle pack set. Well, he's coming, right? So don't you worry. Don't you worry. We saw his toenail. I think if you make them available, people are going to buy them. It's just how it is, right? And Dreadnought, I agree with this. A sellout equals missed revenue. Now you have projections. That's part of business. But at the same token, by selling out or shorting yourself, then you miss out on potential sales, which means more money. Look, if we went through, y'all, let's just say we took up all the Hasbro Premium Pulse members. And then you took the amount of those members who buy G.I. Joe Classified. and you added up the cost of the entire line up to this point, including the exclusives and the Comic-Con exclusives and stuff like that, that's a lot of money. Let alone the people who aren't premium members that have bought every figure. And that's just the every figure collectors, let alone just people that like to buy here and there. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So you want to have the product available to sell to this ravenous fan base. Buenas noches, locos. Hola, Brandon. Y mi gente en el chat. Samir, what's up? It's the best I could do on short notice. Turk, you didn't miss much. Just going over Hasbro, just back and forth. But anyway, all right, let's get into it. Let's see. All right, Otis, we got to bring you down a bit, my friend. We got to bring you down a little bit. So, I came across this trailer. I came across this trailer earlier today. I didn't even know this was a thing, okay? Didn't even know this was a thing. But evidently, this is a thing. Eva Longoria. Ice Cube. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a new War of the Worlds. I know you're excited. I know you can't wait. I know that you are on the edge of your seat for a new War of the Worlds show or movie. I believe this is going to be a Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken. War of the Worlds. Uh-oh. War of the Worlds. The aliens, folks, have come for our data. That's right. They've come for our surveillance feeds. Look at Ice Cube looking all like Ice Cube. You got to see this trailer. This is lovely. All right. Here we go. This is so good.
Hey. See, you took the Sunday graveyard shift again. Dad, when's the last time you...
They're coming for our data, ladies and gentlemen.
left the office?
That's classified.
Ice Cube, gentlemanly. This is Ice Cube at 60. Black don't crack. At 67 years old. That's what I'm guessing. Uh-oh. He gets an email. He gets a doc, a zip file. It's time you understood the truth, Ice Cube. Now, this is someone who hasn't left the office in like months. He is a surveillance pro. He is an IT specialist. This is someone who knows that if you got a random email or message from somebody that you don't know, say it with me, folks. Guess what you don't do? You don't click on it. But guess what he does? He clicked on it. Oh, God. He clicked on it. Aliens lie, ladies and gentlemen.
The surveillance industrial complex is collecting massive amounts of data with the Goliath program.
Now, if you got a message like this in your inbox, Would you not think it was a prank? Like, I would have already started laughing with the voice disguiser, the Vader disguiser.
Our most precious resource on Earth is data.
What? Aliens are coming for your data. Way to sell a new world, War of the Worlds.
And data is food for the superior intelligence.
So data is food for aliens. I can't wait to see how they spin this. Because you would never believe the truth. Man, that shit looked like the Sci-Fi Channel effects right there. What the? Stop it.
Dad, have you seen this? Have you seen this?
He can't believe his eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Ice Cube, after clicking on, look at that look of concern. After clicking on an unverified email link or message, Ice Cube is dumbfounded. I would be more dumbfounded at clicking on the message that might be a virus when you're like the head of intelligence than your son calling you and saying, "Dad, are you seeing this?" No, son, I just got done watching a video that actually was a Trojan file. It erased the United States Complete Intelligence Committee's files and emails. It also doxed their home addresses and gave up all of our spies that we have overseas. But no, are there aliens, son? Data is their food.
What they're comprised of.
No, sir.
Do you know when this comes out? Do you guys know when this comes out? Did you guys? Okay, so I'm pretty sure it comes out on one of our favorite days. Let's see here. Okay, I thought it was the 29th. It comes out July 30th. This comes out July 30th. Did you even hear about this?
I've never seen anything like this.
Eyewitness video is coming in from all over the world. Terrifying machines rising out of these meteors.
Uh-oh. And so there's your glimpse. There's your glimpse of the new War of the Worlds, the new look. Yeah, this comes out. Your data is deadly. Did you know that? It's deadly because aliens, it's food. Your data is food for aliens. So the War of the Worlds movie comes out July 30th. I had no clue. That is new to me, my friend. Holy crap. Yes, Menjoza, they came for our cat videos and adult entertainment. Alien bastages. That's so pitiful. You know what? I'm glad. I would rather see Ice Cube in a hip-hop tour than in a movie. Exactly, Mr. Magnus. I blame the alien invasion on Elon. Did you see, by the way, where a Harvard professor said that in November of this year, we're going to be invaded by an alien species? Because Trump mentioned there was a Harvard professor on the Epstein files. which has become a complete and utter sham, an absolute joke. But there's a Harvard professor that said there is a spaceship out in space right now, headed to Earth. It's coming for us. It is coming for us. The Rickroll defense is engaged. I would love a Rickroll defense. Yes, Sabir, they've been coming for data and DNA. This is all after the fact. You know that's true. Anybody, I say it again, anybody that paid for a company to have your DNA, you need to rethink your strategy. Period. If you voluntarily gave up your DNA to a company that is owned by the Chinese, you need to rethink your strategy. I'm just saying. I don't need to know that my German ancestors in the 1400s sold pigs to someone. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Yes, this is like the third or fourth version, probably the fifth or sixth version, if truth be told. This is a job for Surfshark. I agree. Part of me wants to watch it because I know it's going to be so bad. And let's face it, folks, there's only been a couple movies Ice Cube's done that have been good, right? The Barbershop movies, the Friday. I mean, anything other than that. Remind me if I'm wrong. Yes, listen, dude, G.I. Jetman, whatever you do, don't spend your money on eBlow. It's not as good as the real thing. It's digital. You don't get anything out of it. Not even the shitty side effects. You're just wasting your money. I'm sorry. I know what you meant. I'm just messing with you. Let's see here. So are people still trying to get Nemesis Enforcer? Is that what we're talking about? That you guys are talking about? I would leave a link for the aliens for Pornhub. Yeah, I would. I'd give them a prawn hub. How about that? We say prawn hub. Like my live stream is going to get canceled, but like YouTube cares about this live stream. It's taking over the world. Yeah, Turk Murphy's. What? They're Epstein files? Exactly. What a joke. What an absolute joke that shit was. A black eye for sure. That's for sure. The black eye for sure. Now, Sydney Sweeney Project Headlights. I'm all in on that. I give it up 100%. Eric Thurman, what's in the house? What's in the house, buddy? Let's see here. Yes, I know. I'm just messing with you. But eBlow just sounds so great, doesn't it? It just sounds so great. It's I've got to remember that for future references. I just have to. Okay, here. We'll give you guys some of this right here. Just for your Nemesis Enforcer talk. There. Anyway, all right. War of the Worlds, whatever. But we have something else, folks. We have something else. The problem is the music will probably get me copyrighted, get me claimed. I'll have to trim out this section. Did you know? Have you seen this? Do you know about this? Have you seen this? Yes, that's right, folks. A sequel. Many years in the making. That's right.
Hi, I'm Marty DeBerge. 40 years ago, I was honored to direct a film called This is Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap 2. This seems to me a little bit like Spaceballs sequel. I love some Rob Reiner. I love the fact that it's a spoof. I will definitely watch this. the trailer hasn't done it for me. Are there some couple funny things? Yes. But it hasn't really done it for me yet.
The numbers all go to 11. One louder.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
You see, these go up to 11.
These go to 11.
I'd like to sink her with my pink torpedo.
Pink torpedo. That's literature.
It is literature, folks. Pink Torpedo. He's referencing his penis. If you didn't know what the song. Big Bottom.
Yeah.
Really?
A lot has happened since the last time I saw you.
Presto.
Have you been playing music at all?
I play music at a pub.
I like the premise. These guys are in their 70s, right? They want to get them to reunite. You know, I'm okay with it.
This is the site of Spinal Tap's reunion concert. Why?
The original is a true, like, it's so farcical and at the same time so true about the 80s rock scene. And how ridiculous that it all really truly is. If you've never seen Spinal Tap, I wholeheartedly recommend it. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But I would definitely recommend it. At the same time, I don't know. I mean, this is going to be for the hardcore, right? Yeah, hey, you know, just got to get a little bit, Eric. Just a little bit. Just a tiny, just a tad, just a rat tail, if you will. I'm good. We're all fine now. How are you? Yes, thank you, Han Solo. I just read that. That's beautiful, Sabir. Absolutely beautiful. Yes, Classified is keeping Eblo healthy and thriving along with Steelbook physical media releases. Okay, G.I. Jetman, you must understand. Eblo is the new thing now. And it will always be the thing from here on out. And by the way, did your phone autocorrect Eblo from eBay? Because that in itself is a conversation we need to have. Eblo. Let's make it happen, y'all. Let's Eblo it up. What do you say? Globulus. Yep. Hopefully big and beefy. Just like his tail. Mr. Magus says, Pop, my wife likes when I scream that while waving my tongue. Oh my God, this is getting out of control. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, Nolan hasn't watched the whole thing all the way through. I got to tell you, it's awesome. Turk says, I'm going to pass on the Spinal Tap movie. Don't pass on the original. Don't pass on the original. It's quality, I promise. Let's see. What else we got here? What else is going crazy? Yeah, whatever happened to good old-fashioned blow with the hookers? Yeah, it's E-blow is the new thing now, Johnny. It's the new thing now. You just gotta know. You just gotta get into it, Johnny. Like this is not the real world anymore. It's all digital these days. Let's go. New York City Comic Con, right? New York Comic Con. I can't afford to go to that, right? I wonder if that's going to be, if Spinal Tap 2 is going to be a wide release, like a wide movie release. I'm curious to see. All right, so let's get to the real deal, Holyfield, shall we? Let's get to it. Per Variety. Per Variety. All right. Fantastic Four: First Steps lifts off with heroic $118 million debut. How many of you out there have seen Fantastic Four yet? I am curious. I'm curious. First weekend. No spoilers. No spoilers. That's next Sunday. Next Sunday. Spoiler cast. So if you've seen it by next Sunday and you want to jump on, we're going to spoil the shit out of it. No spoilers. Fantastic Four. $118 million debut over the weekend. Spear says not yet. Gotcha. G.I. Jetman. Don't you worry. Mr. Mangus. Right. We'll get into it, though. We'll get into it. So, $118 million debut. Fantastic Four: First Steps is off on the right foot at the box office. Marvel's latest comic book adaptation has lifted off with $118 million from 4,125 North American theaters over the weekend. Those ticket sales were slightly ahead of expectations of $100 to $110 million. Now, I saw as high as upwards of 115 million, 117 was kind of the projections. Okay. As we get into this article, you'll see the demographics of the audience, and it's quite interesting to me. It is quite interesting to me. Nolan, I would recommend you go see it in the theater, for sure. Okay. Turk, I think you should go see it in the theater. Now, I went to an RPX theater, so it has like the bigger screen, it has the better sound, because I made the mistake with Superman of not doing that. I didn't check the theater I was buying the ticket for. And, you know, the RPX ticket here in Nashville was like $17. That's for a matinee. That's a lot. Fully understand that. I did not get a popcorn bucket, though. I've been disappointed. Disappointed. They didn't really have the one I wanted. So, anyway. All right, let's see here. It says collected $100 million at the international box office for a global take of $218 million. So $100 million at the global is good for this film. Says here that, you know, Spider-Man No Way Home, Deadpool Wolverine, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Not a success. Okay, let's not kid ourselves, okay? Spider-Man No Way Home, Deadpool Wolverine, yes. Wakanda Forever, you know, post-pandemic. Right, like if we look at that the original Black Panther movie, yes, that was a huge billion-dollar movie. Billion-dollar movie. The sequel, not so much. But Thunderbolts only made $382 million, so it didn't even make $400 million this year. One of the lowest grossing films in 37 films. I can't believe there's been 37 Marvel films. It's crazy. Fantastic Four cost above $200 million to produce. Now, $200 million to produce, $100 million to market. So we have to remember that. It needs to make $600 million just to basically break even. All right. And to really make a profit, it needs to do even more than that. And so, look, the word is out. It has good scores. 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, even though I don't trust that website. So here's what I found interesting about this article. It says, got a boost from premium large formats, which delivered a massive 46% of ticket sales. So 46% of the ticket sales were premium formats for the movie. IMAX, 16 million domestically. 13% of the initial weekend. That's the second highest market share ever for an MCU film for IMAX. 70% of the opening weekend crowds identified as male. 42% of all ticket buyers were under the age of 25. That actually speaks good things for Marvel moving forward, is that you had younger people interested in the continuation, because during that 12-year magical run that they had, someone who is 24 years old, would have grown up and been 9 years old, which means they're still interested. The first few films, who gives a fuck? We know what happened. I don't care about that. However, Fantastic Four ranks as the year's fourth biggest domestic debut, following a Minecraft movie at 162 million, which fell just below $1 billion, I believe, when it left theaters. Lilo and Stitch at 146, Superman at 125. Fantastic Four, 2 weekends after Superman, which slid to second place with 24 million. Superman has actually been holding on strong. During the week, the weekday sales are incredible for Superman compared to most movies. But it's at 502 million globally. I don't think Superman's going to hit 650 million. I really don't. But does that mean success for moving the franchise forward? Box office is not the only measurement. So you can measure success in different ways. Now, I'm not saying you don't need to make money, but I am saying, however, is that excitement level makes a difference. I brought this up in the box office projections video of the Fantastic Four, is that, the Batman trilogy with Christopher Nolan, Batman Begins didn't just break the bank, but it got people excited for the next installment. Unfortunately, the third movie was kind of ugh. Anyway, so Jurassic World has gone past, $700 million globally. And it's because it's a what you're getting with this movie. Right? Now, I don't care about the rest of this. The reason I want to bring that up is just for the simple fact that, 118 million is a good showing for Fantastic Four. Is it going to surpass Superman? Is it going to make 600 million? Is it going to make a profit? It's not going to be much if it does. But did this film get people excited for the next installments? And I think that it does. I think it does get people excited for the next installment. Let me roll back just a little bit here to watch those gay movies. Johnny Rio. Okay. You're killing me, Smalls. Samir says $25 for one movie. It is expensive. Yes, the theater experience is better. I have to admit. It actually is. If you show it on FaceTime, Mr. Magus, let me know, because I'd like to see how long it goes up before it gets taken down. Let's see here. So my main thing is that I've got a review coming out tomorrow, but I'm going to let you guys know what I think about the movie. I liked it. I actually liked Fantastic Four. I'll be curious to hear Matthew's thoughts. I like the movie because it is a clearer and more concise film than Superman, and I liked Superman. It has a better narrative from beginning to end. It is there's some character growth, not in every character, but there's some character growth. There's good arcs in there. The CGI, there's a couple things I saw that looked a little weird, but for the most part, I think it sits well with the 60s retro futuristic theme. And while they do make Sue kind of the de facto leader of the team, and her powers are very overpowered in one particular instance in the movie. Overall, I thought the casting was fine. I thought Pedro Pascal was fine in the role. He didn't ruin the movie for me. Could I have used a little more The Thing? Maybe. Not one of my favorite characters. Maybe it's one of yours. Not one of my favorite characters, okay? Johnny Storm. Great character arc. Or not even, I wouldn't even call it an arc per se, because of the way he's portrayed in this movie is different than all the other ones. But he has good character growth. He has a good, his story is very good from where it starts to where it ends. Galactus could have been used a little bit more in this movie. I think this movie was edited down quite a bit. It probably lost 20 minutes of runtime, just like Superman, and could have used that extra 20 minutes to flesh out some areas of the movie. It does take its time, so it allows you to sit on scenes that are important or emotional or whatever. Whereas Superman just kind of briskly just and then. And it doesn't allow you to sit and marinate in a scene that should be endearing or should kind of let us sit with the emotions of the characters. Fantastic Four does that. It does do that. The world building, I think, is pretty cool. The way that they give you exposition is pretty cool. Makes more sense to me than reading text on a screen or hearing a character say the words, "As you know, we flew into space." Now, exposition is always exposition, but how you handle it can be clever. And I thought it was cleverly handled here. I like the fact that in this world, the Fantastic Four is really kind of mainly the superhero team. Now, there's a little bit of world building as far as outside of New York, but it's mainly a New York film, at least where it takes place, and the people, the crowds, you're mainly seeing and dealing with New Yorkers from this alternate Earth. This alternate, was it 828 Earth, I believe. So, but I enjoyed it. I was surprised. I was not thinking that from everything I had read and heard, that this was not going to be a movie that I thought I would like. But in the end, when I walked out of the theater, I dug it. Silver Surfer, much is made about it being Shia LaBeouf. This is a character who's been in like one comic and in just a couple panels. Does it matter? They do work the gender into the story. I will say that. I'm not going to tell you how, but they do work the gender into the story. Did it ultimately matter when it was all said and done that it was a female instead of the Silver Surfer? I don't really think so. I don't think it would have made that big a difference. From a character motivation or a character moment standpoint, you could have achieved the same thing with the Silver Surfer if that's the direction you wanted to go. Then you could have had the same storyline if it was the Silver Surfer, Norrin Rad. But it's not. But it's okay. It doesn't really get played up, but it is a moment in the movie. Eric Thurman says, let's see here. Says he liked it. Cinematography was great. Mr. Baggins said I need the men to be more manly. I understand that. And you've joked, we joked about it with Sue Storm having the more manly voice out of the group. But I do like a sultry voice. Right. I mean, let's see here. Yeah, the retro 70s feel. Galactus on screen I thought was great. I'm not a big fan of how our resolution, so to speak. Next Sunday, definitely going to get into that. But I did like that shot, Mr. Magus. Yes, that was cool. I liked at least seeing a comic representative of Galactus. Not a cloud, not some mystery. Like, I like the fact that he's in this film. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. He would be more purple. Prince ain't that tall, man. Turk says, I'm in for the Surfer. Big fan here. Silver Surfer was fine. It didn't bother me that it wasn't Norrin Rad. It was fine. I didn't have a big problem with it. It wasn't, it wasn't girl bossy, overbearing, preachy, whatever. This movie is about family. It is reiterated time and time again. It is about family. It's about sticking together. It's about possibly choosing, when the stakes are the highest, it's about choosing a possibly horrible decision, about making a good decision for the greater good, right? I think that I think it's very much about family for sure. Let's see here. Now, the thing that was kind of funny, but rather ineffective, if that makes sense, Eric. It was funny, clobbering time, rather ineffective. I would have liked to have seen more out of that when that happened. But I like I said, I enjoyed it. I really did. I would recommend people go see it in the theater. Now, people I've told at work, people that actually really like the MCU, people that I've argued with at work over the last 5 years worth of DEI, identity politic, infiltrated fucking shows and movies, that are people that are all in on that shit. And they think that everything they put out is amazing. I've had these talks. I've had these conversations. I've had these debates at work. And a couple of those people that I've had these conversations with, I told them I thought it was good. They said they're going to wait for streaming. I'm like, so you're going to support Ironheart and the Marvels and the Eternals, Echo, but you're going to wait for this movie on streaming when it's one of the best things they've put out in years. Shit don't make no sense to me. I don't get it. I truly don't. Patrick is in the house. Superman was a better comic book movie to me, but Fantastic Four is still fire. Yeah, so that's one of those things for me, like, and I'm with you on that, Patrick, because yes, Superman for me as a comic book movie really leapt off the screen for me. And even though I would have liked to have seen more in the character motivation area of Superman, for me, it's still the colors, the way that it came off the screen. I enjoyed that. And as a comic book movie, it felt more like that. Because comic books don't always have to explain everything. Villains do shit. People do shit. People have powers. And yes, they get explained at some point in time. Maybe not. But shit happens in comics. And that's okay. Fantastic Four is more grounded, I think. I did like the 60s feel. I really did. But it felt a little more muted, right, in the color palette area. But I did love the 60s retro-futuristic feel of the Fantastic Four. But yes, I agree with you, Patrick. And Patrick, good to see you. Glad you're here. Yeah, G.I. Jetman says they're not true MCU fans. Well, you can be an MCU fan and not like everything. You don't have to like everything. And I get it. Look, not everybody wants to go to the theater. That is a toss-up experience. I had this conversation last night with a guy who is a professor at MTSU. He is a film professor, actually. And every other Saturday night when I come into work, I look forward to talking to him because I like to see what his opinion is. He went to see Superman. And he liked it. And this is someone who's very critical of film. You know, film history buff. You know, this person grades papers. He was at the bar grading a graduate paper, undergraduate paper for somebody who was writing a paper, mind you, on gender and race swapping in movies recently. And what that does or what that's for. And I thought that was a fascinating subject for an undergraduate to write about because I like that subject. I like to know about that. I'd love to read it. I'd love to read the paper. But anyway, so this professor, he liked the film. But we were talking about the fact that you can be a fan of something and not have to just rush out and see everything. You don't have to throw down your money. You can wait, right? But it doesn't mean you have to like everything. It doesn't mean you have to just hook, line, and sinker on everything. You can be critical even about the shit that you like. You know, that's okay. We don't like every G.I. Joe figure that comes out. We don't like every paint scheme that comes out, right? Why would you like everything that comes out in a movie series, right? There's always something to criticize, and it's okay. You know, I think being critical means that you care. You care about that thing. But we also had the conversation about going to the movie theater, and he wished they had gone to a later viewing of Superman because he wanted to be around the crowd and the crowd clapping and cheering and all that stuff. And that's also something I did not do. I went to a matinee also with Fantastic Four because I like to be able to focus on the movie. I don't want to sit there and deal with somebody talking on their phone or having their phone lit up beside me or kids sitting there cutting up being stupid. I'm trying to watch a movie. But there is something to be said for the crowd experience and being around people while they're cheering and they're clapping. That is fun. That's a shared experience. That's a fun experience to be around. Mr. Magus, I get that. I do. But, you know, It didn't bother me. I know for some people they feel like he's supposed to win every fight and not be emotional and all this kind of stuff or whatever. But I was okay with it. It didn't bother me, but I do understand why some wouldn't like it. Dean Cain's Superman was good. I agree. And Turk says I started out with the black and white Superman. Which book was that? Which books was that? I do not own the bar that I work at, G.I. Jetman. If I did, I probably wouldn't be on here. Only because it takes a lot to run a business like that. You're basically married to it. I did not get the Galactus popcorn bucket nor Galactus cup. I had an opportunity to get the car popcorn bucket, but it didn't even come in a box. Like, it was just out on the shelf. Like, no box. It was $50. I'm like, no, give me a box. At least the Ecto 1 came in a box. When I got that, I got 2 of those things. At least it came in a box. And they were only $35. Nosferatu bucket was $40. But I somehow got a discount. It only rang up for like $10. But anyway, so, yes. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Yeah, hey, Fire Stick, there you go. I got it. If you got one, take it. I understand. Yeah, going to a movie is a tricky proposition. So if you go to a showtime that's later at night, you've got to be prepared to possibly have a bad experience. And I like to be able to focus on the movie without worrying about anything, without worrying about people talking. And that's why I like the matinee. I've been doing it for years. Oh, I had one, Mr. Magus. Trust me, I had one. It just stopped working. Maybe it's because I burned it up with all the free prawn. Who knows? Yeah, Sabir, you get that jailbroken one, man. Just upgrade that bad boy. Let's see here. Yeah, George Reeves, right? Oh, okay. I got you. I thought maybe you were talking about a comic, Turk. But yes, the George Reeves version, obviously, as a kid growing up, I didn't really watch that Superman. That was not on my plate. It wasn't anywhere in my sphere, so to speak. But yes, I have seen it. You should drop in, Sabir. You just let me know when you're coming. I'll take care of you, promise. 100%. Anytime. War Chest came by the day before we left to go to Joe Fest. He stopped in my bar, hung out. I introduced him to some of my regulars, man. He hung out, and, had a bite to eat. And so it was great. It was awesome. Legend Series is in the house. What's up, Legend? Big Legend. Just chilling. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, anytime, brother. Anytime. Trust me. Real Grievance. Man, I ain't seen that cat in a while, bruh. In a hot minute. He was one of the first people when I started jumping on and doing this. Grievance was one of the first cats that was popping up all the time. And he blew up quick. He was making some fire videos. All right. So let's see here. y'all. So yeah, look, I enjoyed it. I've got a review coming out tomorrow. It'll be nice and short and sweet, and it is more concise than I'm being when I and on him and haw and all that stuff. Very, very much more clear and concise for sure. If you guys can give me, I'm not lying. I am absolutely just stopped up like crazy. So if you guys could give me like 30 seconds to go blow my nose. I feel terrible for asking, but I've got to. I promise. 30 seconds. I will be right back. No lie. Holy moly. It's the worst time of the year for me with sinuses too. And at night, about this time of the night, start to settle in. I start to settle in. And you're right, Turk. I do need a Moss Man video clip. I actually need to get a commercial to Punk, and have had a couple in the kitty, so to speak. Holy shit. Golly. Feels a little bit better. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, okay. So I came across this article talking about the MCU. And I came across this article about Kevin Feige and talking about scaling back on their plans. You know, it talks about the stumbles of post-Endgame content boom, while Miles Morales won't be coming to the MCU anytime soon, and what's going on with Blade. Okay? So, says right here, he texts James Gunn to let him know how much he likes Superman. Whether they're friends or not, who knows? Whether that's even true or not, who knows? But I was curious about what he says about post-2020, post-Endgame, and about all the content that they tried to put out on Disney Plus that wasn't working. And I got to tell you, he admits to making mistakes. But what I did like about this, okay, talking about the new Fantastic Four, is it's self-contained in a fully fleshed out world that doesn't require homework. A lot of people, did you guys have trouble doing homework when the MCU was clicking on all cylinders? Did you guys have trouble, movie to movie, staying for a post-credit scene or mid-credit scene? When the, let's say from 2010-ish, 2011-ish to 2019, did you guys have trouble doing the homework, so to speak? Because I don't think it was trouble at all. I don't think doing the homework was a big deal. And the reason why, I don't know what the fuck that is, by the way, Mr. Magnus. I couldn't tell you. You don't know anymore. You don't fucking know. But homework for the MCU was not a big deal because Disney Plus hadn't been invented yet. It's only when Disney Plus got put into the mix and the shows started coming out that then it was almost required that you needed some knowledge, right? So because if you went into Multiverse of Madness, you needed to understand what happened in WandaVision, right? And that's just an example. So doing the homework wasn't a problem prior because we were only getting, a couple movies a year, maybe 3 at most, whatever. But when you throw in the TV shows and then it becomes required viewing, right? So then you had to watch Agatha all along. So you had to watch WandaVision to understand Agatha, right? Of course, we all thought we were going to have to deal with Kang, right? Watching Loki to understand Kang and Ant-Man Quantumania, right? So homework didn't really start until Disney Plus started. Okay, and thanks for the compliment on the chair, baby. By the way, so I think it's kind of this thing that's been used recently in the last 5 years of doing the homework. I don't think people really cared. And if the shows are good, if the movies are good, people don't mind doing the homework. It's when you fall off that it becomes an issue. G.I. Bro says Final Fantasy. Every time I see FF, it's Final Fantasy. Fantastic Four frustrated me. I wanted to love it, didn't hate it. It was just mediocre to me. There were things I like. And that's interesting because I know you like Superman. And Superman has some issues as well. But they are different movies. I just felt like Fantastic Four had a clearer plot. It had a more concise story to tell from beginning to end. But it does have its issues. Yeah, Sabir, hey, I have not gotten hit up on them payments. June, the end of June into July kicked my butt when it came to the pre-orders that started rolling in all of a sudden. Let's see here. Yeah, Sony won't let them use Miles. Nope. And they've got, they're thick into the Spider-Verse movies with that. I want to read to you guys what he says about Blade, though. All right. And also what he says about doing the homework, so to speak. Agatha, yes, I agree. Absolutely brutal. Very difficult to get through. 100%. Sabir says, I was able to keep up with Disney MCU. It's all over the place and not interesting enough to hold my attention. I understand. So from Iron Man in 2008 to Endgame in 2019, Marvel produced around 50 hours of screen storytelling. In the 6 years since Endgame, the number jumped to 102 hours of movies and television. We're not going to include animation in this. So, in just the last 6 years, it went up to 102 hours. And he says that's too much. It was only too much once they included television, which Disney Plus has been an unmitigated failure. It has not made a profit in 5 years. While I understand what they were trying to do with Disney Plus, they don't know how to do television. Disney knows how to do movies. They don't know how to do television. They don't know how to edit television shows. They don't know how to write television shows. They don't know how to pace television shows. They just don't. That's why most of them have not been good. Whether it's Star Wars or MCU stuff. He says it was a big company push. He said people have been asking for Miss Marvel for years, and now we can do it, so let's do it. Oscar Isaac wants to be Moon Knight? Do it, recalled Feige. So there was a mandate that we were put in the middle of, but we also thought it'd be fun to bring these to life. Yes, but the problem is you need a good script. And they like to shoot shit without a completed script. That's a big problem with Marvel. They've done it for years. Now, they are grinding down on the budgets. Yes. They're starting to really clamp down on budgets, and that's a good idea. He says it's that expansion that I think led people to say, do I have to see all of these? It used to be fun, but now do I have to know everything about all of these? I think the Marvels hit it hardest where people were like, okay, I recognize her from a $1 billion movie. No. That movie made $1 billion because it was sandwiched in between Infinity War and Endgame, and they acted like you needed to see Captain Marvel or you were going to miss out on this important hero, this crucial piece. Because remember, at the end of Infinity War, Nick Fury pages Captain Marvel. And you see the pager. That movie was shit. It only made $1 billion because everybody felt like they had to see it. Okay? But it wasn't just like, oh, do I need to know everything about all these? Says, I guess there were some in the TV show. I'll skip it. Thunderbolts. Look, I saw Thunderbolts. I told you guys what I thought. I thought that movie had a lot of issues. There were fun moments. There were fun parts. Sebastian Stan, Bucky should be the leader of the Avengers. Should have been made Captain America. Should be the leader of the Avengers moving forward. Have been moving forward. But they decided to go another direction, and it hasn't worked. And audiences aren't going for it. They don't like it. So here's the thing. This is what I love. Talks about Jonathan Majors, right? And the fact that, they had Kang. Kang was poised to be the next big arch nemesis, the Kang dynasty. Okay? Does Feige never mention Majors, God damn it, by his name? Never mentioned him by his name. Well, I hate this website. Instead, calling him Kang actor, and at one point, or the actor, or just zeroing in on Kang as a character. And he said they were preparing to pivot away from Kang before Jonathan Majors' issues. That's bullshit. That's bullshit because everyone was praising his acting in Loki. Everybody said, oh my God, the last episode of Loki season 1, Jonathan Majors, his performance is amazing as He Who Remains. Oh, Jonathan Majors is the standout breakout star from Loki. We can't wait to see what he does as the role of Kang. And then Loki goes back to the TVA at the end of season 1, and you see all the Kang statues and all that shit at the TVA. No, they were in hook, line, and sinker, all in on Kang. He is lying when he says they were planning to pivot. What we had started even before what had happened to the actor happened. We started to realize Kang wasn't big enough, wasn't Thanos. And there was only one character that could be that because he was that in the comics for decades and decades. And we figured it out because of the Fox acquisition. It was Doctor Doom. No, that's bullshit. They signed Robert Downey Jr. and gave him buku bucks. Then had him do those stupid social media posts and phone calls to Riri Williams, actress. It's Ironheart Day while he's reading from a script. That shit's embarrassing. And no, they were not planning to pivot away from Jonathan Majors before he got in trouble. They were all in on that character. They were not all in on Doctor Doom. And he says, oh, in fact, I had started talking with Robert Downey Jr. about this audacious idea before Ant-Man 3 even came out. Right. Sure. Speaking of which, Sony has their brilliant, genius, incredible Spider-Verse animated franchise, so Miles Morales is not going anywhere. Yes. Blade. Here's what I'm curious. Todd C., what's going on? Todd C., okay. I love it. All right. Blade. What's the holdup with Blade? What's the holdup with Blade, you may ask? The obstacle was Ryan Coogler called and said, we'd love some costumes for Sinners. And he said, take them. Now, that's a joke. Of course it is. However, he said that one of the ideas being developed for Blade was that it was set in the Prohibition era. He confirmed there had been 4 takes of Blade that had been developed over recent times. 2 that were period pieces, 2 that were not. Marvel has now landed on modern day, and yes, Mahershala Ali is still attached. He didn't reveal a timeline for Blade, but he did say that he and Coogler have a timeline for Black Panther 3. Why? Why spend the budget on a Black Panther 3? There's no reason to make that movie. Like, none. There's no reason to make that movie, even if Ryan Coogler is attached to the film. The problem with Blade is the original version they had was Blade and 4 girl bosses, and Blade was a passenger in his own movie. That was the first version that basically ended up getting shut down, with Ali saying, I'm done. Right. Deadpool, Wolverine, and then you've got a Daredevil TV show, have shown that Marvel is becoming more and more comfortable pushing adult-oriented stories. Now, are you guys cool with adult-oriented stories? Because the next Spider-Man film is a grounded film that has the Punisher in it. Now, I don't think it's going to be the Punisher from the Daredevil series, but it's a more grounded film. The next Spider-Man film is not a world event saving thing. It is a grounded New York City film. I've been hoping they go that direction. I'm glad they're going that direction. That's what they need to do, especially after the last movie was so good. And you brought in Tobey Maguire, right? You brought in Andrew Garfield. But yes, it needs to be grounded. We need a boots on the ground, New York City, like Spider-Man being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in the neighborhood. Okay. Now, Avengers Doomsday. The thing about Avengers Doomsday coming up, which is going to be in a year or two, is that it's got 50 guest actors, upwards of 50 actors. How are you going to make that work on screen? I would be shocked. Like, the Russo brothers, yes, they did Endgame. Yes, they did other films. Yes, they also did Infinity War, which was far superior to Endgame. That's a lot of guest characters. You know, is Doomsday gonna be like a ton of cameos, like Happy Gilmore 2, Happy Gilmore 1? Just characters on screen for 5 seconds. Like, it's gonna be tough to pull off. Very tough. They thought the Avengers was hard to pull off, getting all those characters together. Let's see what you guys have had to say. Yes, I know you're talking about the pre-orders, Mr. Magus. Yeah, they do not stick to their dates, and that is frustrating as shit. Mr. Magus, the claw is cool. I opened mine up and messed around with it, but I put it back in the box. It's right over there. But it is cool. I like it. I like the pilot. I think it's okay. Let's see here. Yes, Stanley. About the same time Majors was leading Creed 3. That's right. Is Majors why Creed 4 is taking so long? That I don't know. And I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't seen an article about it. But definitely. I would be curious. But that could be because Michael B. Jordan has some irons in the fire. He may have some other things he's doing at the moment. For sure. Let's see here. Yeah, Todd, see that Blade intro from the Wesley Snipes still hits. Yeah, that's ultimately, I think people were after Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool Wolverine. I think people were clamoring for Wesley Snipes as Blade again, but the problem is he's too old. He's just too old. It's just the reality, and it sucks. It sucks. Time gets away, but yes. He's just too old. Yes, John Bernthal is in the new Spider-Man movie, currently being shot right now. Michael B. Jordan being Black Panther probably is the way that they would go, I would say. Jamie Foxx is too old to play Blade at this point. Jamie Foxx is too old. It just is. He just is. The whole Spider-Man thing is real tricky, Todd, with the rights and everything with Sony. Like, there's only so many things that you can really do. I agree, it will be tough to outdo the 90s live-action Blade. 100%. I think people just have such an attachment to those movies, and anything in comparison will be difficult to live up to that original. It's just like Superman. Like, the 78 version is the one that all others are held up against, and they usually fail. It would be the same thing with Blade. Now, I'm not saying Blade is a perfect movie, or Blade 2 is a perfect movie, but it is the standard bearer. just like the original Superman movie. And therefore, everything else will be judged, no matter how good the CGI is, no matter how quick the editing or the cinematography is, you know, how flashy or how TikTok-y it could be, you know, for a modern audience. That's a phrase we haven't heard in a while, y'all. Modern audiences. I wonder why the studios rather started getting away from the modern audiences phrase that they loved so much from 2020 to last year. Modern audiences. Fucking bullshit. Shuri, I believe, is in Doomsday. I think they did show her chair. The actress's chair. Yes. Letitia Wright. Yeah, the rave opening scene is badass. It just is. It's badass. If you're a comic book fan, if you're a superhero fan, if you're a fan of any of these movies, even going back to the 90s or prior even, really, that scene is aces, right? What a way to open a film. 100%. G.I. Bro says Michael B. Jordan said he wanted him back until that last recording came out. Yeah, Jonathan Majors, I think. Yeah. Because he kind of admitted, you know, to the whole thing. Yeah, it's a mess. Look, you know, it's a mess. Guy's a good actor. I didn't think he was great as Kang. I didn't really care for him as He Who Remains and Loki. But I do think he is a talented person. Fox looked good in that spy movie he just did, but I do see. Yeah. I mean, look, you got to imagine, y'all, to do 3 movies in a franchise is like 10 years. So if an actor is, let's say, 52, 55, 57, depending on the character, you're not going to be able to play somebody for 10 years. Right? I think that's just, it's asking too much. And it's asking too much of audiences to set aside their disbelief. Right? Sabir says, I don't know how you can get past Michael B. Jordan having been Killmonger and then come back as T'Challa. Yeah, it would be weird unless they plot-wise decided to redemption and whatever. I thought they made a mistake not recasting the role. I don't think that Chadwick Boseman would have been offended that they recast the role instead of making Shuri the Black Panther. You know, they should have recast the role. It's okay. It's Hollywood. It's an acting role. Nothing is in cement forever. As soon as the creators of Back to the Future die, do you know what's going to happen? We're going to get a reboot or a remake of Back to the Future. Do you know what happens when George Lucas dies? You want to wonder what Disney's going to do when George Lucas dies? We're going to get remakes of the original trilogy. With new actors and new CGI and all the flashiness and movie-making magic that Lucasfilm has been up to for the last several years. When Lucas dies, I would guarantee they're going to remake the original Star Wars trilogy. Yes, to an extent. It's going to be the Doomsday from the comics. To an extent. They'll change some things. They'll change some characters, right? Let's see here. Finn, that actor has basically, I think fans would actually have a big problem with John Boyega. I think he got a lot of love He got a lot of love after he did an article, an interview a few years ago about talking about how Disney didn't know what to do with a black character, and they knew what to do with Ray, but they didn't know what to do with him or Poe or Rose Tico or whatever the fuck. They didn't know what to do, and so we got a lot of sympathy. A lot of people were like, "Hey, we wanted Finn as the Jedi." But recently, in a documentary about black actors, his little part was the only one in the documentary that was disparaging against the fans. And he talked about, oh, Star Wars fans can't handle a black character, like being a lead character. It's just like, here we go again. You know, here we go again. And I thought he lost a lot of the goodwill after that documentary. Unfortunately. I mean, I feel that way. Chad Stahelski directing Blade, yeah. I mean, look, there's a few people that I think could get it done. They just want it. Look, it's a black hero or anti-hero. They want it to be a black director. They are going to die on that hill. G.I. Bro. That's just the truth. They're going to die on that hill. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Alien Earth. So I've seen some early reviews of Alien Earth. First episode. I've heard good things. I have. I'm okay if they don't link it to the existing film franchise storyline. I don't like the current franchise storyline. I haven't liked it for a while. And the new Predator movie coming out looks like shit. Absolute shit. Right, Mr. Magnus. That's what Disney likes. That's what Disney likes, buddy. I'll tell you what Disney is afraid of, and it is true. They are afraid and they're scared to cast movies and TV shows with strong black characters. Now, some would say, well, what about Captain America? But if you look at their track record, and Hollywood in general, when they have black male characters, they tend to be more on the effeminate side or the sensitive side. It just is. They are terrified of what us, regular people, consider strong black male characters or people. They're terrified to present that version. I firmly believe that. I think it's extremely sad. And G.I. Bro, yeah, with the multiverse, no one is really dead. That's what I hate about it so much. It removes all the stakes, and that's true. And especially when you have the multiverse action, right? Then you are so correct. Because at that point, if you're a writer, it doesn't take talent to write yourself out of a corner when you have a multiverse. And you're right. No one's truly gone. You can bring Iron Man back. And if we all don't think that's what's going to happen in the Doomsday, what I'm hearing is trilogy now instead of 2 movies, 3 movies. If we don't think for 1 second that RDJ isn't somehow going to appear as Tony Stark, even if it's a different version, we're fooling ourselves. And that was a mistake they made anyway. They shouldn't have killed him off in the first place. Jon Favreau begged the Russo brothers not to kill the character. And they did it anyway. Did it make for a powerful moment? Yes, it did. But you know what would have been even cooler? Is not having a funeral scene. Yes, Jonathan Majors is done with Disney, I'm sure. Blade cameo in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I doubt it. I would be surprised. It would be cool. It would be cool, but I haven't heard a single thing about it. I have not read a single thing. At the moment, John Bernthal is really the only news about that movie. Let's see here. Sabir says, yeah, you never watched any of the prior trilogy films. Obviously, yeah, no, that's the problem. A lot of times these guys don't. And yes, you see what I'm saying, Mr. Magus, right? That's what I mean. And there's dozens of examples. Dozens of examples of that. 100%. That they love the sensitive, like, best friend zone guy or the best gay friend, right? They love that. And so presenting strong black male characters, right, is something that they shy away from. And again, I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I'm not saying Black Panther. I'm not saying that Captain America, Sam Wilson, but the majority of the time, it's something they really shy away from. And those characters obviously were introduced. And I think, look, we would all agree, Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of Black Panther, not even necessarily in Black Panther, but in Civil War, right? I think that is probably, in my opinion, his best acting job as Black Panther. I did not think Black Panther, the first movie, was a good movie. I thought it was fine, but I didn't think it was as great as it had been made out to be. I think there was a lot of hype behind that movie for many reasons. But, there were scenes in that movie that I had a hard time getting through, or a hard time believing anyway. And really, the whole beginning of it, really leading up, was kind of a slog for me. Yes, G.I. Jetman, you are correct. I just hope it's Savage Hulk. I hope it is a Hulk that's not Professor Hulk or Smart Hulk. I want the Hulk we got before Endgame. Or really Infinity War, for that matter. Think about what they did to Bruce Banner. Think about what they did to the Incredible Hulk character. Infinity War. He can't beat up Thanos. And he gets sent through fucking space and time to end up in New York in the Sanctum Sanctorum, or whatever the fuck you call it. Whatever. And then he can't change. He can't change into Hulk. Because what? Because he got beat up? Oh, boo the fuck who? Like, whose fucking idea was that? That shit was embarrassing. They turned him into a soy boy. Right? You might get a gay Hulk, man. Better look out. Better not cry. You better not pout. Telling you why. Gay Hulk is coming to town. Not vegan Hulk. Yes, soy boy Hulk is what we call it. Soy boy. But yes, Hulk is in the new Spider-Man movie. Oh yeah. Look, they gave Robert Downey Jr. a lot of millions to appear. And to me, that sounds like a Hail Mary, a desperate move. From a company that truly needs a win. And what he was able to do with that character, yes, it does speak volumes to, the job that Robert Downey Jr. did as Tony Stark, right? People absolutely love that character. But, they have a multiverse, so they can write themselves out of the corner they've painted. And that's exactly what they're going to do. I have no doubt about it. Okay. So, before I get out of here, My voice is starting to crack. Do any of y'all watch late night television anymore? I know you watch YouTube. Do any of you guys watch Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert? And when was the last time that you did watch late night television, late night talk shows? G.I. Jetman says, I watch Jimmy Fallon. All right. Because it's just not funny anymore. And I think, unfortunately, it's become so partisan that they're not even able to really do the South Park thing where you take shots at everyone equally. I think being able to, what's up, Lunchbox? What's going on? Good to see you. Turk Murphy's watches reruns of Carson. That actually is probably better than watching anything current. Carson, I didn't appreciate as a kid. Having gone back and watched reruns of Carson, Turk, I agree. See, the problem is, Mr. Magus, is that it's not funny. Easy, I'll give them that. But it's not funny. It's like the lowest hanging fruit. But when you go to that well over and over, you run the well dry. And you also turn off 50% of your possible audience, which means your numbers go down, which means that you pay 200 people to be on a staff and you have a show that loses money hand over fist because nobody's watching it. So I remember watching late night talk shows. And yes, Leno or Letterman, Craig Ferguson, Craig Kilborn. Sure, you'd make a joke about policy or president, maybe a senator or something current, affairs politically. But it's the vitriol with which it's done now. It's not that it's like, hey, trying to be funny or get a joke. It's these people hate so much in their body that it affects their ability to even be funny. And for me, and I don't watch Fox News, actually. I don't watch the news at all. So for me, Stephen Colbert was funny with the Colbert Report back on The Daily Show about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. He has not been funny. And anytime I've ever tried to tune in, he's not funny. And I think that the partisan part of it, if every late night talk show host is so far left that they can't bring on any guest that's not far left. Like, I don't remember the last time Stephen Colbert had anybody that was a right-wing reporter or pundit or figure. He just goes to the same well over and over. It's the same left-wing pundits every time. It's over and over and over again. And while that may be fine for that audience, good luck getting other people to tune in to watch your show. So that's why I think it's extremely important to listen to this video right here, so you guys can see why I think Johnny Carson nails it, and why the Jimmy Kimmels of the world, as much as they cry, and the Stephen Colberts with his fuck you or fuck off, it's been so funny watching him say fuck off, or Jon Stewart with his angry monologue where he yells and dances with a chorus behind him. He's so angry and fuck off and fuck you. And then there's a reason why people like Johnny Carson and why they wish he was. Maybe people use a little more of this sensibility right here.
People say he'll never take a serious controversy. Well, I have an answer to that. I said, now, tell me the last time that Jack Benny, Red Skelton, any comedian, used his show to do serious issues. That's not what I'm there for. Can't they see that? But you're not. Why do they think that just because you have a Tonight Show that you must deal in serious issues? It's a danger. It's a real danger. Once you start that, you start to get that self-important feeling that what you say has great import. And you know, strangely enough, you could use that show as a forum. You could sway people. And I don't think you should as an entertainer. People.
Words of wisdom, folks. Words of wisdom. See, Mr. Magus, it's not about having your feelings hurt. He didn't get him fired. Trump doesn't own Paramount. He's not the boss. The reason Colbert got fired is because the show has been losing money hand over fist. He has a staff of 200 people. 200 people. You mean to tell me you can't run that show with less than 200 people? He has a staff of writers that's probably 20 to 40 writers. So you realize Stephen Colbert doesn't write his own jokes, right? You do realize that. He writes none of his jokes. And do you know who all is in the number one? That's like being first place at the Special Olympics, Mr. Magus. The number one show. No, Greg Gutfeld has the number one show. Late night talk show. Not Stephen Colbert. So Trump doesn't own Paramount. Yes, he sued them. They paid money, but that has nothing to do. That they have bosses. They have executives. You know, this is purely a financial decision. Paramount has also been losing money hand over fist. They are in a merger with Skydance Media. This is true. Paramount is losing money hand over fist. Skydance is going to be taking over Paramount. They need to drop shows that don't make money. This is one of them. This is one of them. Deeply grateful to the 200 people who work here. 200. Do you imagine? Can you imagine the money it takes to employ 200 people on a show that draws like, what, a couple million a week? I mean, you have to be able to look at it purely from financial standards, right? Like, Trump doesn't own Paramount. He can't make the decision. Okay? He can't make the decision. It's not his decision to make. So, yes, everyone can say, well, who got him fired? He doesn't own the company. I mean, we just have to be honest about it. We can speculate. We can say, all this, and everything. But we also have to be honest about it. We have to say, that and I want to show you something. This is a writer who wrote on the show. Okay? And really believe what? I don't know. Kimmel isn't funny. No, he's not. Again, we have to be honest about it. Like that's all I'm saying. He doesn't have the power to fire anybody. He does have the power to say this.
Vagina.
So This is a writer who wrote on Stephen Colbert's show. All right. She looks like a real funny gal, doesn't she? Okay. I love this. This is one of her jokes, by the way. She's a comedy writer. In this latest Trump administration, I often joke that I'm just not cut out for being this furious all the time. Well, okay, so it's not Colbert who's furious, it's his writers then, because they're the ones writing all the jokes, right? All his monologue, everything, why he's so mad all the time at Trump. He's nonstop. I'm a comedy writer. I'm built for naming dogs Dr. Reginald Pancakes and writing sentences like, every woman's deodorant is called Delicate Whisper, and every man's deodorant is called Beef Shazam. Bitch, you ain't funny. That shit ain't funny. I wouldn't have put that shit in an article or an opinion piece or whatever the fuck you call this. That shit ain't funny. You're not funny. And chances are you probably lost your job on the show because you ain't funny. You ain't funny. Host of the highest rated network late night show. First place at the Special Olympics. And that's on ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. We're not talking about like overall out of all channels. She talks about the power of jokes. Well, the power of jokes is being able to joke about everybody. Right? The power of jokes is being able to joke about everything. Not just the same fucking thing every fucking night. And that's what Kimmel, Colbert, Jon Stewart, they've all fallen into the trap, which is exactly what Johnny Carson, the clip I just played you. They all feel so more self-important about themselves. Right? Then she goes on to tell a story about once a guy was mugging me and he started punching me in the face. I told a joke and he stopped punching me. That is the power of jokes. Do you fucking believe this fucking story? Self-admitted writer on Stephen Colbert writes in to talk about the power of jokes, someone who's not funny, and says she was getting mugged, being punched in the face, and she told a joke, and the person stopped punching her. Now, this is what's even better. No, I will not tell you the joke, because I'd say it, and then you'd be all like, come on, it's not that funny. And then I'd have to be all, no, you had to be there. It's not as funny when you aren't punching me in the face. This sounds like it was written by a fucking Zoomer. Because you'd be all, and then I'd be like, all, and then you'd be like, all, and you'd say, all. Like, if this is the joke writers on late night television, they all need to be fucking fired. Fucking garbage. It's garbage. It's been garbage. The ratings have been garbage. The jokes aren't funny. The hosts are self-important, self-indulgent, and none of them are bipartisan in any of their jokes and what they joke about. They protected Biden for years, scared to death, but they'll go hard on in on Trump. Now, again, Trump makes it easy for him, great. That's just great. But I got to be honest. Only a couple of y'all have said that you even watch any late night television, right? So let's not try to act as if we've been keeping up, right? All of us have been keeping up. But I think a lot of people stopped tuning in years ago because it stopped being funny. Right? And no, again, they want it to be funny, but the problem is it's not funny. It's if anybody has watched Colbert the last few nights, or what Jon Stewart did the last few nights. That's not funny. There's nothing funny about it. It's desperate. It reeks of desperateness. And hey, I said the same thing about Biden, G.I. Jet, man. So, we all have our opinions, and that's why I have a show. I say them. I say what I feel. That's what I feel. I will tell you that I think Trump has done more for this country in the last less than a year than Biden did in 4 years, and thank God Kamala Harris wouldn't get the chance to do. That's what I will say about that. But bottom line is, late night television's gone to shit. Craig Ferguson was the funniest motherfucker, and he never got his due. Never got his due. And he was the funniest one out of all of them. And even funnier than Letterman towards the back end. Because as a kid watching Letterman in the 80s, that was edgy shit. That was good shit. And it was funny as shit. The last several years, Letterman was mailing it in. I mean, I think we all would understand that. And I'm a bit surprised that I'm a bit surprised. The other thing that people don't want to admit is I think, Turk, the thing of it is, because it's network television, right? Like everybody has a platform if they really want one. This could be considered a platform, but I don't like that phrase. I think Hollywood's used it for years, their platforms, to promote all kinds of weird shit. But the biggest, I think, reason why people aren't watching late night talk shows is because of YouTube. People are tuning in, and I'm going to say this. I'm not going to be punk. I'm not going to pat myself on the back. What I mean by this comment is what I want you guys to understand from this comment. People are tuning in to someone like myself, and I'm not good at it. But what I mean is people are tuning in to YouTubers. They're watching YouTubers because it's authentic. It's not slickly produced. It doesn't have 200 employees. It doesn't have a team of 30 writers writing the jokes, working the cameras, running the commercials, doing the skits. Usually it's one person or two people. And it's more authentic. And people love authenticity. And that's why people are tuning in to YouTubers, regardless of whatever your politics are. Because you can find whatever you want to find. If you want to find far left, you can. You want to find far right, you can. You want to find down the middle, you can. Libertarian, you can. You can find whatever you want, right? You're gonna get it. But that's what people are tuning into. So regardless, people are tuning in to authenticity instead of slickly produced content on national television or cable, especially though when people go that hard in one direction. Now, it doesn't mean that there's not an audience for that. It doesn't mean people don't tune in for it, because people still do. There are people who do watch those shows night after night after night. There are people who watch Fox News night after night after night. But most people nowadays that are tuning in are younger people, and they're watching YouTubers. And most of the people that are watching late night television anymore is people of an older demographic. So that format is dying out. And Kimmel and freaking Jimmy Fallon and Jon Stewart, eventually that format will go away. It's popular for decades. All things come to an end. It will happen. YouTube one day will kind of come to an end. So, but my point is, yeah, people do tune in for authenticity. And you're seeing that more and more in droves. and that is killing a lot of those formats. So regardless of what you think about the politics part of it, and I think it plays a large part, one of the biggest reasons is because of platforms or like this. People would rather tune in and watch something that doesn't cost $200 million a year to make. It's just the truth. And you get more authentic, right? Whether you agree or disagree, right? Doesn't matter. And in real time, someone can respond to your comment. Someone can see your comment. Even if you don't agree with what they have to say about your comment, there's interaction there. And you don't get interaction with Colbert or whomever. You just get what they give you. People are tuning out. It's just honest. There's a reason why people don't like it. And it's multiple reasons. So, anyway, I did want to touch on that because ultimately I did want to finish up on the fact that YouTube has taken a huge chunk out of all of these shows. Everything. And Turk, I'm with you. Most of us don't watch television anymore. We mostly all watch YouTube now. I mean, we do. Still tune in here and there, but we mostly all watch YouTube and Instagram Reels, right? Like, we're all victim of that. But anyway, so look, that is all I have for you guys tonight. I will be, let's see, off this Wednesday. Totsy says, I watch old me rant about toys on YouTube. Old men. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'd watch old you, Todd, and old men too on YouTube. Who'd have thought we'd ever say that, right? Who'd ever thought we'd say, like, oh, I'm getting old, or like, 55-year-old guy talking about toys, something like that. You would have never thought that. We would have never thought that forever. But yeah, and yes, there will not be another Carson and a Letterman, Leno. I mean, it's those days are gone, and it's unfortunate because that was a good time. That was a fun time. It really was. And the wars between Leno and Letterman, CBS and NBC, But yeah, man, I wish toys were the future. My cousin and I, we have it. We say it all the time. I wish I could go back to like 1986, 1985, something like that. Live there for a month or so just to remember. I probably wouldn't want to come back. Thank you, Menjoza. Look, I'm gonna let you guys get out of here. It is late, and I know a lot of you guys are definitely ready to get to bed. Sabir, thank you very much. Y'all have a great week. I know a lot of y'all are starting it out tomorrow, so let me let y'all get to bed, man. Again, always appreciated. Whether we always can agree to disagree, and anybody that comes in and listens to me ramble for a while, I always appreciate it, man. You guys are awesome, and I will see y'all next Sunday for the spoiler cast of Fantastic Four. So if anybody's seen it, I'll send you the link if you want to jump on. I'll have my review of the movie out tomorrow. If you want to watch that, look for it. Until then.
So long, gay boys!